Hello everyone, welcome back to Believers IAS Academy, Bengaluru. This is hot topic of the day session. In this session, we'll be discussing a very important topic, and today's important topic is GST reforms and the contributions of GST, because and also issues with respect to tobacco control and relation with GST and tobacco control. Okay, why we are discussing and why it is in news becomes very important, and in syllabus it comes under GS3, Indian economy, economic development and public health, and the topic is Indian economy, public health, taxation, etc. Okay, Indian economy from GST, public health, taxation, GST on tobacco or any healthcare products. Then why it is in news? Recently GST completed its 8th year of implementation. Okay, so India completes 8th year of GST implementation. Attention is now shifting from economic gains of the GST to policy gaps, particularly in the ineffective taxation of tobacco, which undermines public health objectives. Okay, since tobacco is not properly taxed under GST, it is being extensively used by the poor people of India. As a result, it is also resulting in healthcare impacts. Okay, so before that, we will understand what are the contributions of GST. First and foremost, what is GST? GST is a destination-based indirect tax. Okay, it replaced previously available excess duty, etc., and it became a homogeneous taxation of India. Okay, so achievements of GST in the last 8 years, it resulted in unified tax structure, replaced a complex web of central and state taxes with a single indirect tax. It promoted one nation, one tax theme. It also resulted in revenue growth. GST collections touched a whopping 22.8 lakh crores in financial year 24-25, showing robust compliance as well as economic integration. Okay, and then it is also promoting ease of doing business because of implementation or introduction of digital technology as well. Digitized returns, harmonized rates, and compliance simplification have supported business growth. Okay, whenever the taxes are easier, technology is implemented, and if it is simplified, then the business is going to grow. As a result, the ease of doing business in India is on the rise. Improved logistics, that is removals of check post, cut transport time and cost, especially for perishable and essential goods. And finally, reduction in tax cascading. Input tax credit reduced production cost, enhanced competitiveness, and lowered consumer prices. Okay, these are the achievements of GST, and now we will also discuss some of the policy gaps in GST. So major gaps with respect to tobacco taxation and public health. Okay, with one of the major gaps is there is weak public health orientation. That is, GST failed to significantly raise taxes on tobacco despite its deadly impact. It is not that tobacco is not taxed; it is taxed, but it is not high that it is not so high that it is not being restricted by the poor people. Okay, taxation is very low on the tobacco. As a result, it is cheap, and more poor people are able to avail this one. Why? Because of the decline in specific excess duties. Before GST, there was specific excess duty. Specific in the sense, excess duty is based on the particular product. Okay, not on the value. These specific excess duties have been replaced by GST with ad valorem taxes. Ad valorem is proportional to the taxes. Okay, proportional. How you will understand this one? Proportional to the value of the goods. For example, if GST is 10%, if the car is 1 lakh rupees and if tobacco is 10 rupees, okay, the tax on 1 lakh rupees 10% is 10,000, and tax on this one is only 1 rupees. As a result, this is cheap, though they are proportional, but they are not serving the purpose of public health orientation there. Okay, so under taxation of bidis. Okay, bidis is more used by the poor people because they are very cheap in nature. So bidis consumed mainly by the poor are not covered under the GST compensation cess, making them ultra affordable, resulting in public health crisis. And there is also expiry of cess in 2026. What is cess? Cess is tax on tax. Okay, tax on tax to reduce the usage of a particular product. Okay, for example, there is coal cess, because coal has a negative externalities not only on the producers or the users but also on the bystanders as well. As a result, there is cess on the coal. So similarly, here also there is a cess on tobacco, but it is being expired in 2026. Post 2026, the expiry of GST compensation sales could lead to further revenue and health setbacks. Okay. Violation of WHO guidelines. WHO recommends tobacco taxes of at least 75% of the retail price, whereas India's tax burden is very below this. For bidis, it is 22%, for cigarettes, it is 54%, and smokeless tobacco, it is 65%, which is lesser compared to what WHO recommended. Okay, so these are the reasons why tobacco issue has not been addressed in India, especially through GST. So, what should be the way forward then? How do you address this issue? One is, before that, why GST has been ineffective in curbing tobacco use? Okay, obviously one is no significant tax hikes in GST. In pre-GST era, that is from 2009 or 2017, regular hikes were seen in excise and VAT of tobacco. Okay, led to a 17% decline in tobacco use. Because there was a increase in specific tax on tobacco, it led to the 17% decrease in tobacco before GST. But post GST, there is stagnation in tax rates despite the inflation and income growth, because it is ad valorem taxed in GST. As a result, it is proportional to tobacco prices or values. As a result, the cost of tobacco is very less, which I already explained. So, and there is also low overall tax incidence because bidis remain extremely cheap and under taxed, which is encouraging the widespread use. And then there is excess duty decline. For cigarettes, excess component fell from 54% to 8% post GST. Okay, excess duty in the sense duty on the import of cigarettes. Okay, duty on the import of cigarettes has reduced from 54% to 8%. As a result, cigarettes have become cheaper for the people to use. And then ad valorem tax manipulation, that is, tobacco industry manipulates pricing to minimize tax liability under ad valorem structures, undermining the health deterrence. Okay, and affordability among poor and youth. Lack of strong price barriers has made harmful tobacco products accessible to low income groups and adolescents. Okay, because of all these reasons, GST has been very ineffective with respect to curbing tobacco. So what should be the way forward then? How do you address this issue? So what are the issues are there? For each issue, there should be one of the way forward. First is introducing specific excess duties. Instead of ad valorem on the tobacco, we should replace it with the specific tax excess duties. Impose fixed per unit tax in addition to GST as well. Example, Philippines used both ad valorem and specific taxes to raise prices and lower the usage of tobacco. Why should we reduce the usage of tobacco? Obviously, tobacco has negative health implications. It is leading to lung cancer. It is leading to respiratory issues. It is leading to various health issues as well. So as a result, there is a need for us to cut down the tobacco usage. Raise GST and cess on tobacco. Increase GST to the legal cap of 40% on all tobacco forms. Include bidis under the compensation cess as well. And index taxes to inflation and income growth. Okay, so there should also be a progressive taxation which is in line with inflation as well as income growth. Okay, ensure annual revision of taxes to prevent increased affordability due to rising income. Okay, higher the income, higher the availability. Okay, so we should also focus on the income increase. If the income is growing, we should also increase the taxation so that that income is not used to consume tobacco or cigarette, bidi, etc. Strengthening interministerial coordination. Involve Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Finance Ministry and Niti Aayog to integrate taxation into a broader health strategy. Okay, this is a we can integrate different sections of the government: GST, health, and think tank of Niti Aayog. They can come together and make a policy formulation which is going to address the issue of tobacco. Okay, so this is maybe a small topic but very important. There can be a question in the mains as well, or there can be a question in prelims as well. What is the type of GST taxation in India, and like what is the rate of taxation on cigarette, etc., which are explained 22 to 54 and 64%. All this becomes very important for you. So this ends the discussion for the day. If you like the video, then please hit the like button, comment on it, and also share with your friends. With this, I will end the video. Jai Hind.